it's Catherine, and this is a My Kinda Recaps. So this week on KindaTV, they officially dropped 8 episodes of their brand new series, Inhuman Condition. So I did a video all about the trailers last week, and I was super excited for the show to start because, oh, it looks so cool. And seriously, it did not disappoint. These first 8 episodes have been crazy. And after the first 6, on Monday they dropped 6, and then Wednesday and Friday each had 1. I actually wound up writing like a little sort of mini recap thing over on my blog, cliffnotes.wordpress.com. I'm still going to talk about that stuff. Just this video I wanted to make a little brief because I was like, it's 8 episodes and I don't want to make a crazy long video for you guys, especially since I just got off work. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm kind of tired. So here we go. So in this series, Dr. Michelle Kessler is a psychiatrist to supernatural beings. So our core characters, besides Dr. Kessler, are Clara, who is a walker or a zombie, frequently called zombie, just FYI, Link, who is a lichen, and Tamar, who is an undisclosed entity. She has really intense powers, but they don't officially know what she is, or if they do know what she is, no one has informed Dr. Kessler, so they don't know what she is. In the series, the very first episode was actually Tamar's episode, and this is the only one so far we have of her. We learn that she has intense powers. She's had them for a very long time. She doesn't know how to control them entirely. She has been trying, but she doesn't really know exactly what they are, which is understandable. It seems like no one really knows exactly what she is as a power. What's really sad about Tamar's story so far is that she specifically knows that when she was a child, yes, I'm going to talk about some spoilery things, these are recaps, she killed 306 people on accident. She has no idea how it happened, and in that number were her parents. So the fact that she's lived her entire life knowing the exact number of people that she killed on accident with powers she does not fully understand is terrible. She has a lot of anxiety, and there are some social issues where she's been kept in captivity for a very long time. She lives at the center, and in the center she doesn't really interact with people. She currently has a handler, and she's moving out of the center into an actual house now, so these sessions with Dr. Kessler are supposed to prepare her to live on her own. Now, the reason we haven't really seen her is her first week outside of the center was to be focused on preparing to like live in the world, but she was just supposed to get used to being in a new environment. So the first week was to be spent in her house, and then she has long-term plans for what she'll do once she's officially to help her integrate into a regular lifestyle. So that's Tamar so far. That's all we know about her. Clara, as a walker, there's like a gradual progression. There are levels. I don't know what all of them are. She's at stage 3. Each level that each stage you go through, the zombieism is worse. So at the level she's at now, when we first see her, you can't really tell. You really can't tell. She doesn't look like something out of The Walking Dead, but she is starting to lose not like physical body parts, but she discusses the fact that she fell and scraped her knee and nothing happened. She also, in one episode, loses a piece of hair. She says she's losing senses of taste. There are a lot of sad aspects to each of these characters because in this universe that's created, the human world knows that supernatural beings exist, but they're not comfortable with them. So there's a lot of, they exist, they're supposed to be welcome, and they're not. So Clara has Frank around her all the time. Her father pays for Frank. Her father is rich, and he's actually the reason that she's not somewhere else. She's allowed to live outside in the country far away from big cities where she's considered to be non-dangerous to society. Frank's job is to follow her around all the time, and if she freaks out and goes full-on zombie, he kills her. So she's literally followed around by a guy who's supposed to kill her at a moment's notice all the time. So she has that going on, and then her father visits her a lot, but there's a lot of tension, and because she is slowly dying, Clara has decided that she wants to end her life. Now the forms that she has to fill out are the euthanasia forms. They exist in the real world. These are actual forms that people can fill out in certain states. I know it's not legal in all states, but you can elect, if you are sick with a terminal illness, to have a doctor kill you. There's certain steps. It actually happened on an episode of Grey's Anatomy, if you watch Grey's Anatomy. So she needs Dr. Kessler to sign these forms, and when we were first introduced to the idea of Clara killing herself, well, yeah, killing herself because she doesn't want to be a zombie, Dr. Kessler has the forms. She says she'll look at them, da-da-da-da-da. Well, in the most recent episode that happened this week, we learned that Dr. Kessler is not going to sign the forms. She does not want to help Clara go through with this because she thinks that Clara can still be helped. Now, this has led to a rift between the two of them that was already sort of there, because, not a huge rift, they were pretty close, but there have been issues between the two of them because Clara doesn't think Dr. Kessler is really processing what Clara is going through the way that she wants her to. So she keeps asking Dr. Kessler, how does she feel about Clara, about Clara dying as Clara. That's a really poorly worded sentence, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. And Dr. Kessler finally tells her, like, she doesn't want to go through with it, and so there's this, like, break, and Clara storms out. So currently we don't know what's going on with Clara. Conveniently, Clara is actually connected to Link, the third of Dr. Kessler's patients. Link is a lichen, which, in case you are unfamiliar, lichen is short for lycanthrope, and lycanthrope is, I'm going to say fancier term for werewolf. In this universe, werewolf is a slur, so Link is referred to as a lichen in his definition. So he's actually in court-mandated therapy because he was arrested for assault on 4 men in a bar, and because of previous issues, their discussions of anger issues, previous, at least arrests, there's been no discussion of like previous jail time, but he has been arrested before. He is considered connected to sort of dangerous lichen groups. So he's in therapy. When we initially meet him, he looks very like demure, besides when we see him immediately in some like flashes to the night of the attack. He says that he's like sorry, like his demeanor is very like low, deferential to Dr. Kessler, and then she points out that she knows that what he did was not just a regular assault. The men that he attacked were actually connected to a case that happened in Chicago, I think, yes, against his former boyfriend, Keith. Keith did die. I think it's connected to the event. He mentions that Keith was in a coma for like 6 months, so I'm assuming it was from this assault. But I could be wrong. I may have made that up in my head. But the men that he attacked are the people who attacked Keith, who is now dead. So it was actually a premeditated assault on men who he knew. So he knew these people, which is not what he was telling her previously. In this episode, there's an immediate switch in his demeanor where he goes from being sort of respectful of Kessler as like an alpha figure. Sorry, it was in my brain. He is then very combative, very confrontational, says he does not respect her, winds up leaving the session, which he's not allowed to do because they are mandated sessions. He's not supposed to leave early. He comes in for two other episodes, I believe. Yes, I think I have the numbers right. And meets with her, and in all of them, it's still pretty combative. The two of them are sort of, they're trying to work through stuff, but he does not like the fact that he has to meet with a human psychiatrist. He does not want to talk to Dr. Kessler about all of these problems. He just doesn't. He doesn't think she understands. He doesn't want to deal with it. She winds up showing him some stuff she did when she was in college about the lichen movement, because she does actually connect with, she believes in equality for all of the groups, and shows him this. There are aspects of them where they like unite on certain ideas, but it's still not, Link really is not okay with this. We also see that he and Clara they go to an event together, like a rally, and they're together, so we know that they're hanging out. She'd actually been talking to him online. Both of them have very large online presences. Link has Claw Marks, a video series which Dr. Kessler learns about, and Clara has her own like walker-based movement. I don't know if she makes videos. She says she talks about it on the internet. The issue here is that while Dr. Kessler and Link are sort of trying to connect, kinda, like she tells him about how she's been helping other supernaturals and how like she's not just doing this for money, like she's doing it to help them. There are some issues. In Michelle's personal life, she has a ex-husband and I believe an ex-wife. Unless it's she's an ex-girlfriend. In that relationship, Michelle and her ex-husband had, I Yes, they had Mara, and then I believe, I'm trying to piece this together because I thought this relationship was a little different than it actually is. And then Rachel and Michelle, I believe, raised Mara together when Michelle and her ex-husband William broke up. I think. That hasn't officially been like discussed, but I think that's how it works. When they initially presented them, I actually thought, okay, Michelle Kessler's character is bisexual. I had actually thought that she, Rachel, and William were a triad, and they were like a polyamorous relationship or something, where they were like living, the three of them, with Mara, but that's not true, I don't think. I don't know. I just thought that's how it was, and it wasn't. I don't think. If it is, I'd love to know, but that's how I like saw it in my mind, and then I figured out that while Rachel and Michelle still connect with William, only Michelle still talks to him, so I don't think they were in a relationship altogether. I think Michelle is like the point that brings them together, which is leading me to lots of Lost Girl connections, just so you know. So there's that. William and Michelle are hooking up. Mara kind of thinks that this is going on. She's very sure that they're hooking up, even though Michelle said no. We have not met Rachel yet. Rachel was calling her about Mara because Mara was visiting, but that's all we've seen of Mara and Rachel. William, the ex-husband, who Michelle is still sleeping with periodically, or at least we saw them hooking up in one of these 8 episodes. He is actually a beat cop who's doing like an off-the-books investigation of Link, which is definitely not okay if his current lover, former wife, is his psychiatrist. That's definitely not okay. He's actually the one who shows her the claw marks videos and is telling her that she needs to get Link on her side so they can get information from him, which would be very not okay and a breach of all sorts of trust and confidences and everything, which is not cool. So I'm very, like, that was so sketchy. It's so sketchy, that moment where he's like, you just need to get him on your side, which is not okay. Not okay. So there's that aspect, which is kind of like a nebulous. I really thought they were a triad. Like I did. Michelle Kessler is not the only bisexual character in the show. Link is also bisexual. He discusses a former girlfriend while talking about relationships of his past. So we do know that Link is also bisexual. It just sort of came up in conversation. It's not like a defining, I mean, it's really great. It just wasn't like he's totally bisexual and that's like his main focus. Nope. It's just, he also happens to be bisexual, and he and Dr. Kessler are both bisexual. And they were in a scene together, which was fun because there was a bi Bechtel thing on Twitter. I keep mentioning that. Anyway, so there you go. There's some other like quick things. There was an interview between, oh, I'm gonna screw up her name again. Natasha Negavanlis, her last name I can say, interviewed Steph Oaknine? I know I screwed that up. To talk about the series because she's the producer, one of the producers for Inhuman Condition, and she mentioned that they are succubi. She said the word succubus, which is why I was like, Lost Girl. And now I'm thinking like Dr. Kessler is a succubus, which could be completely wrong, but in my brain I'm like, yes, succubus. Totally Dr. Kessler. Probably not, but you know, that's what my brain said. There's also a supernatural being they keep calling a cube, and we have no idea what a cube is. Every time I hear cube, I think Hellraiser, and I just keep thinking puzzle boxes, and so I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe Tamar is a cube? I want to know what a cube is. Besides, like, I know what a real cube is. I want to know what cube means. I do. Like, I don't know. I can't. I just keep thinking the puzzle box from Hellraiser, and I don't think anyone is Pinhead. So, I don't know, but I want to know. Okay, I think I got everything. Yes, I made a list, guys, because there was a lot. There were 8 episodes. It was a lot of stuff. This video is probably still super long, even though I tried really hard. Natasha on KindaTV also interviewed the actress who plays Tamar, and it was really great. She gets super animated when she's answering questions, which was really fun. So you should definitely check out both of those interviews over on KindaTV. You should also watch the episodes, all 8 of them. They're so good. I rewatched them as best I could tonight to do this video. I'm gonna definitely rewatch them again because they're really good. But okay, that is my recap. Let me know what you think in the comments or on Twitter at CliffNotes. I mentioned my blog, cliffnotes.wordpress.com. I write for the Nerd Girl Express, nerdgirlexpress.com. I run their Snapchat, the Nerd Girl EXP. And I post recipes on the iZombie Support Group site, iZombieSupportGroup.com. Bye, guys.